It would have been nice if he had a plan to lower the health care costs of American workers or get them any health care whatsoever. And it would have been nice if he had championed a single plan to make college more affordable, to make young people to get retrained if they lose their jobs. Senator McCain, you can't run away from your words, and you can't run away from your record. When it comes to this economy, you stood firmly with George Bush and a failed economic theory, and what you're offering the American people is more of the same. And that's why we can't afford John McCain, because this country can't afford another 4 years. We can't afford 4 more years than what we've had the last 8. For years, I've called for us to modernize the rules of the road to suit a 21st century marketplace. Rules that would protect American investors and consumers. I've called for policies that grow our economy and our middle class together. For years, I have fought to make sure that workers have basic rights. And that they've got a minimum wage. And that they are protected at the workplace. And in 50 days, you'll have the chance to bring about the changes that we have been talking about throughout this campaign. In 50 days, pull back that curtain and choose the future that you want for Colorado, the future you want for Pueblo, the future you want for America. That's what this election is about. Defining moment in our history. They don't come around that often, but this is one of them. A moment when our nation is in the middle of 2 wars. A moment when our economy is in turmoil. A moment when the very values that have made America what it is are being threatened by the politics and policies of Washington. What's under assault in that city is nothing less than the idea that America is a place where you can always make it if you try. That in this country, anyone with the drive and the will to be able to find a job that pays the living wage and that supports a family. That in America, we don't just reward wealth, but we respect the workers and the work who create all our wealth. This mother of this nation in the 21st century will continue to be the last best hope on earth. That's what this election is about. It's not about me or Joe Biden. It's not about John McCain or Sarah Palin. It's not about Paris Hilton. It's not about Britney Spears. It's not about lipstick. It's not about kids. Whether you'll put enough money away each week so that someday you can watch your child accept to college. Whether we'll finally have leaders who understand what's going on in the lives of people who haven't spent their lives in Washington. Leaders who haven't forgotten why we sent them there. Leaders who will fight for you now and tomorrow and next year and 10 years from now. People who understand what Americans are going through each and every day. I began this race as the one candidate who hasn't spent a lot of time steeped in the ways of Washington. But I've been there long enough to know that if we want to keep the promise of America alive, the ways of Washington, they must change. And they must change now. Not yesterday, not 4 days from now, they need to change right now. We have to change a system of special interests and of lobbyists who've turned our government into a game that only they can afford to play. We have to change the Karl Rove brand of politics that we've seen in the last few weeks. The politics that will divide this country just to win an election, where phony debates and false advertisement, lies and spin consume a campaign that should be about you, that should be about the issues, the great challenges of our time. And we must change the policies that have caused incomes to drop and jobs to disappear, home values to plummet, and healthcare costs to skyrocket. We have to change the policies that have devastated our middle class and shaken the foundation of our economy. We must end the policies of the last 8 years. It's as simple as that. Now, that's not been John McCain's message. For the last 19 months, he has argued that the only change, what qualifies him to be president, is the quarter century he spent in Washington. The experience that comes from decades of walking the halls of power. But now, suddenly, John McCain says he's about change too. He's even started using our lines. He's saying he wants to turn the page. He says he wants to take on the lobbyists. He even put out an ad today, get this, saying that Governor Palin and he would bring, and I quote, the change that we need. Does that sound familiar? They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Instead of borrowing our lines and our slogans, I wish he'd actually borrow some of our ideas. If Senator... Obama! 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 To talk about who can bring change to Washington. That's a debate that I'm happy to have. It's great that he now wants to talk about putting corporate lobbyists in their place, but he needs to explain why he put 7 of them in charge of his campaign. Lobbyists for the insurance and the oil industry, for Freddie Mac and foreign governments. And if you think those lobbyists are working day and night for John McCain just to put themselves out of work, well, let me tell you, I've got a bridge to sell you up in Alaska.